don't really have an opening statement. Just I know that this is really a media day, so if there are any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.
All right, we will start it off with Jason Barr.
Okay, Coach, how are you doing? Everyone wants to know how you're feeling, and you sound okay, and you look okay. Are you feeling well?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. You know, it's a process that's it's unfortunate, but we'll see where we are at the end of the week. From a timeline standpoint, you know, I was tested last week, but it wasn't confirmed until this weekend. So, you know, it's about a week into this thing. So, you know, I don't have I don't have symptoms. Neither does my son. I get up in the morning and go through a checklist with him, how he feels, and he's in my office next door here doing his schoolwork, and I'm back here in the bedroom. So other than that, it's a tough time, but we're getting through it.
Okay, good to hear. Do you plan to be remote on Friday when the team starts fall camp?
We are having that discussion, Dr. Paul and I, here later this week. We'll see where I am here by this weekend. But
Okay.
I'll let you guys know.
Get well soon.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next question, we will go to Jay Gonzalez.
Coach, so just first of all, glad you're doing well. But so as you begin camp, what's priority number one, and what are the major things that you think you're looking at to get done early?
Well, it's a little different for everybody in our league. Some people didn't have spring football. We had 4 practices, so our new coaches on defense got to see guys, not as much as they wanted, but they got to see a bunch. They got to see them more than some people did. So we've got to get our new defensive staff rolling. Fortunately, we've been on the field here for a little bit and had our Zoom meetings. So I feel good about that. Obviously, we've had some transfers that we have to replace, and particularly at linebacker, and then continue to develop offensively. Our offensive line, which we played a lot of different people last year, but we've got a bunch available now. So, and find out who our playmakers are on the perimeter. So we got a lot of things to do as a team, but I think we've got plenty of time to get it done.
Okay, next question, we will go to Michael Lev.
Hey there, Coach. If I could go back to the positive test result here for a minute. The fact that this happened to you, what lesson can you take out of that, or maybe pass along to your players?
Well, it's, you do the best you can, right? And so still don't know how or why or what happened, but the lesson is this thing is serious, and no matter what precautions you have to be extremely aggressive about your protection, about your health, and as well as others. So it's an unfortunate situation, but it's one that, hey, listen, I'm not the only one that this has happened to, even though I've been really vigilant about what's happened. I've been fortunate over the last week about symptoms and being asymptomatic, and so is my son. So that if there's anything that's good out of it, it's become that, and that you cannot be too careful. You just can't.
If you're unable to be there in person on Friday and Saturday, who would kind of run the show?
Well, what we're doing is, just so you know, Mike, we've had team meetings also. You with me? So we're still on Zoom. We're not. We haven't completely opened up. We're gonna start moving in slowly into the locker room this weekend or Monday, and then as far as team meetings and things like that, as we ramp up testing, we're gonna stay on Zoom meetings, which gives me the opportunity to be a part of those meetings for at least another week. So I would anticipate that this weekend, after talking to Dr. Paul, we'll see where I am. But as far as the meetings go, we're still involved in that. I am. And then as far as practice goes, the scripts. Just for instance, today my schedule was, we had a staff meeting this morning at 8:30 to cover today's workout. I'm on here with you guys at 10. Noon today, we have a safety training, and then 1:15 this afternoon, I meet with the coordinators, special teams, offense and defense, with Paul and Noel and Springer, and we're going to script what preseason football practice looks like, what those practices look like, and how that goes. So that'll get done today, and then we're on the field today at 4 o'clock. So that's kind of where it is today. It's not like I'm not doing anything, and as far as our coaches go, or as far as our team goes.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Next question will go to Jacob Minuti.
I was wondering if you have a general idea of what you want to do with the linebacker core. Obviously, it's still really early in camp, but do you kind of have a general idea of who's going to be playing the linebacker position so far?
No, I do not. We haven't started camp yet.
Next question will go to Shane Diefenbach.
Hi, Coach. With the football season about to start, ASU just released a study that found coaches of color had a lower chance of being hired as head coach, even though they typically have more experience than the white counterparts. What's your take on it, and how does that statistic make you feel?
Well, I don't think you needed a study for that, right? I mean, that's just where it is, and this has been talked about for years. So I don't think there had to be any kind of study or statistical proof that people don't know. And, that has been just like some of the things that we've experienced as a country over the last 6-7 months. Obviously, there's some outlying factors in there that people either are going to deal with or they're not. But certainly, there's an issue, and it didn't take a study from anybody to do that. Those are just facts.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Next question will go to Justin Spears.
Coach, so you got big news on the offensive line. Donovan Lai said he is coming back. How big is that addition to your team? And what was that process like from the time he said he was leaving to when he said he was coming back?
Well, I mean, you got to remember, Justin, the guys who left, basically it got down to they wanted to play football this fall, right? And they wanted to turn pro. The schoolers, Tony Fields, this is before a decision was made about us when we were going to play. Nobody knew when we were going to play as a conference. So those guys left because they wanted to play this year, this fall, and they wanted to turn pro, want to be available for the draft in the spring. So they didn't have the information that Donovan had later on in this process where, hey, we do have a schedule. Here's what it does look like. Here's where he is. And yeah, I mean, we have that conversation with everybody. And we're happy that Donovan's had a tough time through this process. But a lot of things happen personally in his life, some things that he knows that we're here for him. He got our support, and fortunately, he trusts us, and he's back, and I look for him to continue to have a heck of a career here at the University of Arizona.
Okay, next question, we will send it to Bailey O'Carroll.
Hey, Coach. This season, obviously incredibly different, firsthand. Have you noticed any sort of a mental toll that it's taking with your players?
I think it's Bailey, I'll be honest with you. I think it's not just the season. I think it's everything that's happened over the last 7 months, right? You understand what I'm saying? From social unrest to pandemic to are we playing? Are we not playing? Is it safe? There are so many factors, and the fact that, hey, for the first time, really, a lot of guys are taking classes online from last spring, right, in summer. So it's a completely different set of circumstances for these young people. And I think, yeah, your head's in the sand if you're not realizing, hey, this can be taxing mentally to our people and to our coaches. And so, when I think when people we've gotten away from using the word training camp. There is no training camp because we're in school. So it's a completely different schedule to play. So everything's different. A lot of things have happened this year that have taken a toll on our young people, and I think we need to be sensitive to that.
What are you telling them, and how are you helping them deal with it?
Well, we've had some open discussions as far back as March, April, just about social unrest, about everything that's gone on, and then and guys and wanting to be here, guys not, are we going to play? Is it safe? Everything else. So I think what we've done is try to be open and honest, address some of these things, players and to our parents as soon as we can. So yeah, our message has been the same. It's been one of compassion, one of, hey, look, you guys can make the decision based on our medical people and everything else that's involved. So I think the communication piece becomes critical, particularly at times like this.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Okay, next question. We will go back to Jay Gonzalez.
Kevin, so, and I know, the general answer from coaches about these things is that these things don't really matter, but you were picked to finish last in the Pac12 South today. Do you use that? Do you not use it? Do you ignore it? What do you do with that information with your program and your players?
Well, since you just gave it to me, obviously I wasn't paying attention to it.
Okay, so that's it. I mean, are you not gonna? Can it be used as motivation or anything like that?
No, because none of those people are playing or coaching in these games.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next question. We will go back to Michael Lev.
Coach, what has impressed you the most about the way Grant Gunnell has handled this offseason during the pandemic and all that?
Well, I think, and you'll hear me say this from time to time, and I've said it about a lot of different people. When crisis situations arise, right, or adverse situations, I wouldn't necessarily say crisis, but in some instances, it's been that way. But adverse situations arise. I think they reveal some people's true character, and how you handle those situations, even if you don't have the experience in it, becomes important, and leadership becomes important. So I think he's stepped forward and really done some things to grow and to help grow our team together during this off season, during a difficult time. And so as I think from a leadership standpoint, he's made some serious strides over the last 7 months.
On the field, what does he need to do to maintain his level of play from last year or even enhance it?
Well, he's working, he's been working. We've been working with footwork, and his ability to move a little bit. He doesn't have to be the greatest mobile quarterback, but he's been working at his mobility, his footwork, his ability to see, to slide around in the pocket, not necessarily taking off and running, but moving around. And so, I mean, we've done a lot of movement type drills with him. Noah's doing a great job, and he understands that, and understanding situational football, which is something that you say that, but we got to work at it a little bit more, particularly with those new receivers out there.
All right, next question. We will go to Tressa Rusnak.
Hi, Coach. Good morning. Thank you for your time. Happy to hear that you are feeling well. Not to harp on the COVID thing, but what is your level of concern that your season could end in the blink of an eye if someone does test positive, and all of the factors trying to keep everyone safe and healthy with so many moving parts?
Well, it's always a concern, right? So, I think if you look at the professional sports, some are humming along real well. Then you had the Ravens situation. So there's a real possibility something like that could happen anytime. And what you can do is do the best you can and prepare. And I think, our league with our testing protocols and everything else, and playing a conference schedule and controlling what that looks like, I think it gives us the best chance to play all these games.
Okay, next question, we will go to Larry Stone.
Hi, Coach. I was just wondering, as someone who's spent time in the SEC, what's your feeling about the place of the Pac-12 right now in the sort of the hierarchy of national football perception, and what will it take to raise that reputation?
Well, you just answered your own question. You don't like the reputation based on your question. So, which wasn't a question, by the way. I think that giving us an opportunity to play gives us a chance to do it. Watching football the last couple of weeks, I think you've seen some different type of football. So it's very difficult. I think without non-league out of conference games to judge other leagues. So it'll be even more difficult year this year, but we will have a conference champion. And will give us an opportunity later on and maybe some crossover games to see where we are.
Next question, we will go back to Jordan Ham.
Hey, Coach, just curious what your expectations are for Jamari Joyner in year 2 as a wide receiver and coming off a foot surgery.
He's healed up pretty well. We've taken our time with him. I think, he had a better than average year based on the fact that he didn't play receiver until really fall camp. So I think, it could be a breakout year for him. I think he's worked hard at it. He's going to continue to work at it. Some of the nuances and some things like that. And instead of just what to do, but how to do it, getting open and doing those types of things. So he's a talented young man and who's got big upside. And obviously he's a guy that we've got to utilize this fall to get the ball in his hands.
And we'll go back to Jacob Minuti.
Going back to the Pac-12 and kind of comparing it to other conferences, do you believe that a 7?
I lost you.
Oh, sorry. Going back to comparing the other conferences, do you believe that a 7-0 Pac-12 team could make the college football playoffs this year?
Yes.
I mean, do you have any concerns about only playing 7 games and not having enough time?
I answered the question. Yes. I think
Okay.
a 7-0 Pac-12 team can play in the CFP.
Okay, next question, we will go back to Michael Lev.
Coach, you acknowledged earlier, that you lost Tony and Colin and Scotty Young happened earlier in the offseason. But given all of that and sort of the investments in certain positions that you've made, what concerns you most about the defense heading into this training camp?
Well, we just got to get on the same page, right? So you got new people, but you got new coaches. And I think, we've moved some guys around. Obviously, what does this mean for Pandy? Inside and outside, where he's going to be comfortable because he's a heck of a pass rusher as well. But he's a good inside backer. We just got to get our best people on the field. And from the back end too, with some moving parts with safety. So we're working towards that. And with that, we got to develop some depth. So both ways, the starting crew, what our nickel package looks like. Are we going to be better as a nickel team with another safety or another DB out there since we've signed a couple guys, and then moving Pandy inside and playing nickel the whole time and being flexible. So we'll see. But our goal is not just scheme, but also to get our best players on the field to give us the best chance to win. And sometimes That seems like a simple statement, but it's not. And we can't be stubborn with that. But to get the people on the field that help us play fast and play physical and play consistent on defense.
Given this weird offseason, the late arrival of the sort of second wave of newcomers, would you expect the normal degree of participation by freshmen during the season? Think it'll be more? Think it'll be less?
I think it'll be normal, because if you, I mean, realistically, a lot of our guys that are California guys don't graduate until June, right? So they don't get here in a normal year till late June or July. Does that make sense? So that would give you a month really before training camp would start in a regular year. So the timing is really about the same right now because of the length of time that we've actually been on the field with these guys. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. It's just, it's weird because it's late and everybody looks at it that way, but these guys have been here. And so, you know, we've got our 29 days, we've got 4 weeks really from this weekend. And we're on the field this week. So, you know, for those guys who have been, they've been on the field last week. So, you know, our guys that are new have been around us and understand things a little bit more. So I don't think it's going to be that more difficult. I think you're going to have basically the same amount of time to get a young guy ready for less games. And to be honest with you, Mike, you know, and which people aren't talking about, but the players are and parents are, the eligibility issue has been solved, right? So playing in these games, you know, these guys want to play, these young guys.
All right, we have no more questions in the queue. Coach, thanks for your time. Glad to see that you're doing well, and best of luck with your recovery, and hope to get you out on the field soon.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.